Windows 8. It's really old. Um, so I'm just gonna go through the system. Then I found a all-in-one workstation with Windows 8. I tried to unlock it. It was locked up. I still have it, and I had to buy a power adapter for it. So, and I do have some more screws, I think, from some of the other parts. So I gotta get those before um, adjustment, I think, to the space and flex ribbons or the ports. DVD-ROM, and then I could really sort these out. And I think these are for the hard drive. So the next row of screws, I guess, can be put down. Laying the screws on the flex or the Phillips side can also. So, couple of screws for the speakers and stuff that I couldn't really. And what I could do is tape on the outside to really seal this up. So I need this tray to pull off some of the cushions, and I got the display cleaned up. So what I meant, I also got some of these tweezers, but there are some parts and rubber pieces that are going to be in the way when I spray paint this. Spray paint the inside. Just want to do it just because one, everything's kind of free and open and possible. I think the masking tape, and to make it easier I probably need some scissors. I tried to paint a little bit with the brush. I think I'm going to have to end up masking this stuff off and painting it. So I'm going to use tape first and then just spray painting, and over some of the larger pieces I'm going to just use some cardboard or just any paper, and just kind of tape things. I might even double-sided tape some pieces onto this first, situated and cut out. I already cut out a few pieces, and it can use a little bit more, so, and stuff like that. So mostly these two were for this, and I'm gonna trim those up, and then I've got little small squares and things like that kind of sitting off a little bit. Try to do a good job. So I taped up, and I broke down a few boxes, two for each one of these pieces, and just final inspection. I could have just anywhere that that I don't want to get. I'm probably going to add another piece right here, and I don't have to and there's some stuff here that's a different. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to cover as much up that I can. I thought I could get away with just a little bit, but the spray paint and the final uh, look and things, I covered the memory card slot and a few other places. The brush, painting it with the brush isn't going to be as nice as spray paint, so I'm going to basically have another couple of spots. I could really, tape up some of that, but I'm probably going to end up painting that. So, and then I'm going to basically spray paint it. Then gonna look pretty good. So I kind of use this other piece for a shield. So then for any tough spots missed, then I guess I've got to let it dry as much as I can. Then I can bring it back inside. Pattern. It looks pretty interesting and stuff. So, yeah, it looks a lot better than the factory stuff, hopefully. And yeah, just taking off some of the tape and stuff. But this piece looks really nice covering up. And missed a spot there. No, that's, well, shouldn't be missing a spot, but it might be a missed spot. Or the tape is, maybe that's the tape. So some of the tape, but there might be some missed spots, so I'm going to have to try to spray paint it again. Once this dries up and things, might take 2 hours, so just really wanted to show off like just the, you know, the way that I did it. The thing is, you know, I couldn't, I mean, I didn't have to mask it off, but might as well just put in a little more time, and then just to kind of be sure, so I could just spray and still have some good effects with the pads or the just any of the trim and stuff, even though it's mostly the same color as a spray paint and stuff. But when I take off a lot of the masking, there are going to be a few small spots, but for the most part, spray painted the try to move this to a flatter surface and stuff, and that just flew off. But this right here might be debris, stuff like that, or maybe I missed a spot. Yeah, so thanks for watching my video. I'll see you guys on the next Upside DIY. So yeah, so I got some gloss black. I'm gonna actually, I'm not going to spray paint it because, you know, kind of like cool parts. Like, so even this might be a spring, and I'm not just gonna spray paint everything or this screen. I'm gonna actually John. So basically, I've got some plastic, clear plastic that I have pre-cut a small hole to make the paint thinner is normal stuff, but so there's a plastic piece. I didn't poke the hole just yet, but I have a small. Yeah, I didn't poke the hole just yet, but I have a. And I'll be right back. So I added the paint. I think the spray paint. And I think I went and got the screws. Really, and even painting with this brush, it's going to take a little bit of time. You know, It's basically not going to be a really smooth finish, but that's okay. So I'm going to just kind of at the paint or the brush in trouble, or just in trouble spots that I'm painting. So what I'm doing is peeling off the tape. So I got some tape there, and then I've got some of the paint, and then I've got this small kind of like incense stick that I get from, and then I've got to use these tweezers, maybe a flashlight, and I basically go around peeling off the tape and just trying to see if there's any, and these tweezers don't really work as so this spot doesn't really need any, and this well, I kind of like, saving whatever I can out of it. You never know, or I never know. So go ahead and peel off, hoping there's not that much, and I'm just putting it on this plastic tray. Really don't see much. I'm gonna try to get a flashlight, and as much tape as I could kind of take off right now. So I also take it apart or painted a couple of screws there. Finished spraying here. There was a couple dull spots that I really didn't see on the initial, and if I spray paint once, it's pretty smooth, all around. But you always want to try to get it on kind of like the first spray, because, or else, the second, the solvent might, uh, you know, uh, kind of like burn the first coat, and then it starts to orange peel just a little bit. It starts to basically, basically, starts to feel like it's like over drying, but it's really like chemical. It's more like a chemical reaction, and it doesn't really finish. So right here, it was just a small spot, but there is so some touch up, so I could kind of see, and also there might be some touch up there, but I'm not too concerned. I just want to cover that the main there were a couple of small pads there, and also this some RAM for this laptop. So just using this stick, just dip it in the paint that I kind of made up with stuff. So the more of this tape I could peel off and expose, like that was the spring right there, and it looks okay. I think there might be a little bit, and I really don't have to do too much with this paint. And I put a little bit of paint thinner in, and there's kind of like other and weatherproofing, and but I just kind of like it because it's fluid, um, and I think I have enough. I think so. So kind of have a spot to kind of put this down, just because I need to probably just seeing if I miss some spots and stuff. I can actually use a lid, so I just want to kind of walk through this a little bit and then just really finish it up. So here, so I think this is kind of like the last piece, and I do have, I'm not sure what's down in there. There might be like a foam pad, but there is quite, we'll do a little bit, work a little bit at a time. Showing off kind of how useful and fine pointed, and um the spray paint would have just made things look different. I think that's the kind of like the last piece and the last little bit of spots. I know, well, a little bit of spots. So for round to kind of get closer is kind of like